All right, collectors, thanks for joining me today. And today we're going to talk about Tiger Force, the much irresistible Ross Special G.I. Joe Classified. I just couldn't resist this thing. It was $9.99, I believe. You get an action figure and you get a RAM cycle. The only problem is, what the hell is this? Look at this. Oh, look at this. What a mess. For those of you that like Tiger Force, there's nothing wrong with that. It's personal preference. But just to me and my personal preference, Ronald McDonald and his gang have no business in my G.I. Joe Classified. That being said, great if you enjoy it. I don't. I think a lot of us, there's a reason why this particular one didn't sell out at clearance, and the RAM cycle, the original olive drab one, did sell at clearance and sold out over in Target stores. But this one, they just couldn't. They couldn't do it. So there we are. I couldn't resist it because he's a good figure, except for this situation happening. And it's not, it's so close to being good. So close. But this is a mess. Okay. Now, so taking that into account, Tiger Force, what is it? Well, I mean, in the barest of corporate terms, it's essentially a way for Hasbro to reuse these molds that it sold us at the beginning when we were kids, paint them a different color, call them a different name, a subset of G.I. Joe, and then sell them to us. Now they're bright yellow and white and orange and red, and the guys are, colored different too, and they attract even more kids to the genre, right? I just don't know if Hasbro fully looked into what Tiger Force was. I'll let you look that up. Tiger Force is not a particularly pleasant chapter in the military experience, but I'll let you guys look that up on your own. I don't know if Hasbro knew about that or if they didn't know about that, but it's not a particularly proud chapter. They may have been actually calling it, or wanting to call it, a Tiger Team, and a Tiger Team is something that originated in World War II and consisted of a small group of highly disciplined and highly efficient soldiers from different parts and had different disciplines or different educational studies or different specialties that were joined together in a small group to go troubleshoot or break through or spy on a specific enemy target, right? It's a small group, almost like a Delta group, right? But these guys were called Tiger Teams back, in World War II. Now, NASA heard about this, and NASA said, that's a fantastic idea. Why don't we do it? And that's when we heard about it. NASA popularized that term because what they did is said, hey, you know what? We're going to take that same concept. Instead of passing the projects from one group does all the work, another group works on it, so you could essentially have small teams from different, instead of passing the entire packet to another group, they do their particular thing over a year and work, then packs it to another. No, everybody sits together, works, on their particular skill at the same time, and they develop it 3 times faster. So that's what a Tiger Team does. And it's also used corporate speak in the corporate world as well for something very similar to that as well. When you have a troublesome spot in your corporation or process that you want to solve, you bring together these groups anyway, that's enough of that. Back to this. What are we going to do with it? Well, let's start with this guy. We're going to start with him, and then we're going to get to that. Along the way, anyways, you know what? No, let's just get to that. Let's go ahead and start with him. I'm going to show you a couple things we did, and then we'll get to the bike. All right, guys, I'm going to show you guys a trick. Remember Duke's legs? They were all Tiger Forced up. This color I don't mind. This is one solid, nice khaki type orangey color. What I do mind is this disaster. These stripy. Not good, not good. This is ugly, these stripes. I want you to see something. That literally took me about, that's about less than 5 minutes worth of work. Let me show you this. Watch this. Are you watching? Look at this. I'm literally just erasing that stripe right off. I feel like the ShamWow guy. Hold on, let me show you. Let me take another side of it here. Grab some more. Look at this top one. Get ready. Look how I'm erasing that. See that? I don't know how many of you know what this is, and I don't care if some people want me not to never give this out. But I just recently now found out about it. And I'm going to share it with you. This wonderful chemical is quite volatile, but this is what it is. I suppose a lot of you know of it, some of it don't, but here's what I've been using. And it makes things way faster. All right, guys, so here we are. Some very minute differences. As you know, I dislike heavily making super, changes or customs. I like to make them as simple as possible so that you guys can follow along and do exactly what I did without much fuss or muss. Can I go into a very complicated electronic, RC and, build with, plastics and stuff? Yeah, I can do that. But, how would you guys benefit from that? So from my point of view, I'm trying to simplify these things as much as possible so you guys can follow along, maybe make these tweaks as well for your, collection. So number one, compare and contrast here. Here's the original Duke that comes with the Tiger Force cycle. And here's the one that I updated. You guys saw how I worked on these stripes to get them off so he doesn't look like a fool running around with that stuff. And then I didn't like those little red, they just irked me, those little red lapels there. So I subdued them out. I made them black. And that black matches with that black, matches with that black. And that is not a bad color. It kind of actually is a brown, kind of a lighter brown color that could definitely mix in with the fall kind of feel. And that olive drab shirt works perfectly. So I also added this little, go watch my sling video on how to make rifle slings. There's from the most expensive version to the cheapest version. These things can cost anywhere from less than a penny to all the way to $6. But anyways, go watch that if you want to know how to make some slings. This is just a really quick and dirty sling. There's some that actually attach to the top and the bottom and go around the back. I just wanted to give them something quick and fast so that to make it as easy as possible. So there we are, updated, original. You guys tell me which one looks better. Let me know. It's not a lot. It's not a lot of work there. It's not a lot of difference, but I think it makes a world of difference on him. So anyways, there he is. Let me put him back with his original crazy cycle there, or Ronald McDonald cycle. Let me move the weapon down here to the side there. All right, so what did we give him to ride? Certainly not going to make him ride that thing. Well, as you saw in my previous videos, the first thing that we put together was this thing, this little Maisto. And, the video on how I built it is, it's a really simple build. It's assembly line bike. Worked really well for females and kind of works really well for G.I. Joe males because they crouch down in that position. They're supposed to be in there. So you got this one. I didn't give them this one, but you guys can go watch that video and get some information on that if you want. I also put out where I bought it. The other thing we built was this bad boy right here. Scales, I think, pretty well. I mean, a couple of you guys were like, no, I think it needs to be a little bigger. But to me, it's hard to convey to you the scale on this. Maybe it's because my phone is warping it a little bit or my camera's warping it a little bit, but it actually scales really well. I would leave it up to you guys to go and actually take a look and maybe pick this up. It's a $20 bike, maybe $16 now. And I think it really scales well for my, Cobra troopers to be riding something like this. So you've got something like this. This is still not what we gave him, but go watch the video on that one if you want. Now, which one should we do first? Let's start out with, I actually did 2 versions of it. You guys tell me in the comments below which one you like the most. This version is kind of, think about it as it's been through battle, it's gotten beat up, it's been through the ringer, right? This is what equipment looks like when it's in war. It's still serviceable, but it looks like doo-doo. By the way, a lot of that stuff goes by the wayside when you're downrange. But anyways, here, let me show you. Here's what I put together. Is this one right here. Now, let's move him back over here. Zorana, don't stick him with a knife just yet. I need him to compare and contrast over here. So here's the Ronald McDonald bike, and here is this bike. Here, let me turn them to the other side so maybe you guys get a clear view of what that looks like. Here's this side, and here is this side of it. So what I've essentially done is given it a wash, beat it up a little bit, colored like a dark olive drab, just a very, very, beat down bike, right? A bike that's been through the ringer, It's had some fights. It's gotten scuffed up. It's been in a war, man. So there it is. Here's this version of it. This is the, it's been through some stuff version of the bike. I happen to like that one actually quite a bit. I don't know if it's doing it justice here on the video or anything, but here, now let me bring out the other one that I also like as well. I actually did it 2 ways. Here's the other one. And this one is a little bit cleaner, right? This one just started the war, or maybe it's a night ops vehicle. I don't know. You guys tell me. So this one doesn't have a lot of wear and tear on it. It's essentially just started, maybe in combat. It's got some dials there and whatnot. So here they are. This one barely started, and that one's been through the ringer. So you guys tell me, which one do you like the most? Do you like, well, some of you might like that one. Not me. Do you like this one? And you know what? I would be remiss if I didn't say that one of my viewers actually gave me this idea. Why don't you just color it black, dude? So yeah, why don't we do that? I think that happens to be a really grand idea. And I left, just being careful, left the tiger, and I think that looks really great actually. So I left that tiger shark type of emblem on there. So there's that. Here, put it over here, and then there's this little guy right here. And this one, like I said, it's been through the ringer, it's been beat up, still serviceable, still fighting for the Joes, but it's had some lumps. So all right, guys, that's essentially it for 10 bucks. If you have a little bit of time now, each one of these took about, I would say about 2.5 hours. So 2.5 hours for bike and for figure, but I work pretty quickly. So, your work time may vary. I don't know what it's, what your work time is going to be on it. So, anyways, that's for 10 bucks and a couple hours, 2.5 hours. You get a really great looking fig, right? Now to me, he looks way better. And you get a really great bike for a G.I. Joe Classified line for 10 bucks and some elbow grease. And here's this version over here. So guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope I've given you some ideas that you can maybe go back and try. Let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed it. Let me know. Now, not only that, tonight, let me know if you enjoyed it. Let me know which one of the 3 do you think, or do you think is, no, I completely screwed it up and I should have left it, the orange, Tiger Force thing, or, if that's no good either. So let me know in the comments below. I'm really interested to hear what your thoughts are on it. The other thing is, don't forget about the Ross Viper 3-pack giveaway. If you haven't entered into that, I'm going to draw for it tomorrow I can't tell you what time tomorrow I'm going to draw it, so don't take a chance and go ahead and watch that appreciation video for getting to 1,000 subs. Go ahead and enter. I know you have to subscribe so that we can get that done. In addition to that, keep watching. I've got 2 other vehicles that I'm currently modifying. Again, I try to make them as easy as possible so you can follow along with it and, you know, maybe inspire you to do some stuff, or maybe not, I don't know, or maybe amuse yourself or entertain yourself with it. And we'll go from there. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. And as always, as long as you guys keep watching, I'll keep rolling these out.